about his defensive principles. Was it something new for you at that point, since Detroit was famous for its tough defense in the late '80s?
It was very tough for me playing in Detroit, though, because I was an offensive-minded player. And to this day, I'm still an offensive-minded player, although I'm retired. Um, so it was tough, and I was pretty much reprimanded a few times for not having at least what they perceived as great defense. And I think a lot of it was because my offense masked my defense. You know, I felt that I was such a great offensive player that didn't get the credit for my defense. That said, though, that was one thing that Coach Daly held against me in that sense, or at least that was one argument Coach Daly made. He thought that I was a little too much more offensive minded than I was defensive minded, when Detroit was pretty much predicating itself on defense. For those years, I would say around 80, 86, 87, 88, when they were kind of like transforming into who they became, which was the Bad Boys. I could say honestly and legitimately that I was there in the beginning of the bad boy era.
Yeah, as you say, when they drafted you, they still had scorers like John Long and Kelly Tripucka, and during your last year there, they already had drafted John Sally and Dennis Rodman. So the transition can be seen. And in '87, which is your last year there, Boston would
Correct.
ultimately beat them for the last time. So it's kind of is a notable transition period. The 3 years you stayed there, could you feel at the time that Jock McCluskey and Chuck Daly were building something that would eventually that a championship would eventually follow?
I was in the middle of it when we got. It's funny though because my second year, we drafted Joe Dumars, and so that was more offense. I thought, that is where we were going to go. We were going to just be a high scoring team with Tribuka, with myself, with Dumas, with Isaiah, with Lambeer, with Vinny Johnson coming off the bench, John Long, as you mentioned. We had enough offense. But in '87, Rodman comes in, Sally comes in, and all of a sudden we go from this, at least what I perceived as this team that could put up big numbers offensively. We went to more of a knock them down, drag them out, bad boy, hard-nosed defensive team where the focus was stopping people. And with the offense we had, though, it would be sufficient, to win games.